$109 for Article 23. This town meeting has approved salaries of $3,499,821, a reduction of $145,241 in the warrant. This reduction, if the general government share of the $1,774,309 is $869,459. If you take the ratio of the approved salaries to the warrant salary number, that comes out to 0.9602. You take 0.9602 of 869,459, you get 834,855. You subtract 834,855 from 869,459, gives you $34,605, which is the amount that I have recommended we reduce. I apologize to the Finance Committee. I apologize to the School Committee. I apologize to the Selectmen for not having given them these numbers early in the evening so they could study at their leisure.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to amend? Mr. Daly.
I've never encountered a motion of that sort. And I can't fault the arithmetic logic of what you've proposed, Mr. Walsh, although the way this budget is put together is only partially based on the number of employees we have. So even though we would use the same kind of analysis that you did to try to readjust this number, unfortunately it can only apply in one line, two of the lines that we show here. The line that's labeled health insurance, which is the portion of the health insurance premium contributed by the town, and the other line is Medicare, which is a similar contribution that the town makes on behalf of employees that are required to pay into the Medicare system. Only in the case where the employees that we would not have, that we are now not going to be hiring, would have enrolled in our health insurance and Medicare programs, would we indeed avoid that cost. We base our estimates on the number of employees that we're currently carrying in those areas, and we do a little bit of rounding, as you can see, because we have zeros on the ends of those. I can't really debate with you the approach that you've taken, except to say that we don't overspend in these areas because most of our costs are fixed, and any money that we don't spend in these areas reverts back to free cash for the ensuing fiscal year. That's not really an argument against what you're saying, it's just an explanation of how we do this.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. The motion is a motion to amend, and it's a motion to amend line item 23 downwards from 1,774,309 to a sum of 1,739,704. And as the chair reads the motion to amend, it would preserve the transfers as they are now in the printed version of the warrant. Mr. Mocheri, clarification.
When it was originally read, included a transfer from stabilization.
Yes, it did.
It's printed in the warrant. So what's your interpretation of this second motion?
Thank you for calling that to my attention, Mr. Mocheri. I guess the motion that the chair has in front of him is to appropriate the sum of $1,774,309 for the purpose of funding line item number 23 of the fiscal 93 operating budget as printed in the sponsor recommends column, along with the accompanying transfers as printed in the warrant article 10, with the following corrections: and $199,000 from the stabilization fund. Mr. Daly, would you care to clarify that?
Yes, the purpose of the $199,000 transfer from the stabilization fund is in order to balance the entire budget so that we don't leave the town meeting with a deficit on our tax levy. And in fact, that was the purpose of moving Article 23 to this point in consideration in the budget. I don't believe that Mr. Walsh's intent is to throw the budget out of balance, but simply to trim the costs allocated in that particular line item. Is that correct, Mr. Walsh?
Yes, but
Please.
take $190,000 of whatever the amount is, put it in pensions and benefits, then apply that to the rest of the town budget. I understand things, you know. We're voting on a pension and benefits line item. And we're voting 112, whatever the number is, 177 or my number.
Right.
Now, is that we're going to add another $190,000?
No, the $199,000 is the portion of the funding for that line item. It's not in addition to that amount.
For the pension and benefits.
Yes.
And you're doing that for what reason?
We're doing that so that the budget, the overall budget, is brought back into balance after the action just taken on the school department budget. Remember that there was $199,000 being debated? We're trying to use that same amount here to keep everything in balance.
That's legal.
Yes.
Okay. So now if we agree to that, I guess the question is, what is my amendment? Do I
Yes.
include the $190,000?
Does it?
Yes, I do. If I may amend my amendment, I would agree to.
The chair will so interpret your motion, Mr. Walsh, that you also intended to include the $199,000 transfer from stabilization.
Then, as a point of order, this will need a 2/3 vote.
That is correct, it will. Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Moderator, my question is, was a point of information. I know when Mr. Walsh stated in motion, he made reference to transfers as in the warrant, but his written motion includes the 199.
That is correct. Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Now, the amendment requires a simple majority, but if the amendment passes, the main motion requires a 2/3, actually, regardless whether the main amendment passes or not, the main motion will require a 2/3 vote. Mr. Jerry.
I think it's important that we realize that this line includes both some school committee, school personnel expenses as well as town expenses. And the budget that we've approved for the schools, I believe, includes more personnel than the town administrator had originally included in his calculations. So the full amount may be necessary to cover all of the costs.
Does the Finance Committee wish to make a recommendation on the amendment?
The Finance Committee does not recommend.
Okay. Mr. Walsh? Briefly to answer your question. Just briefly to answer your question.
Well, I was looking for my comment when Mr. Kirby stated, is that permitted?
Briefly.
Mr. Kirby is correct. Mr. Kirby should stand up and ask us to amend it and add the money that he feels he needs for this. Otherwise, they're not going to have the money, or they're going to be stealing it from schools or books or something else. Ask for what you need. Let us vote on it.
Mr. Jerry? Again, briefly, since you have already spoken.
It won't come out of the school committee budget. It comes out of this line that is administered by the town administrator, and he has asked you for the amount that he feels he needs. I don't have an exact number for the additional school personnel.
All right. On the motion to amend, which is to reduce the amounts on line item 23 from $1,774,309 as printed in the warrant to $1,739,704, with the state noted transfers as presented in the warrant, including the $199,000 transfer from the stabilization fund as in the main motion. On the to amend. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Motion is lost. We are now back to the original main motion, which is for $1,774,309 for the purpose of funding line item number 23 with the stated transfers plus the transfer of $199,000 from the stabilization fund. On the main motion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. On the main motion, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Since it's not the unanimous vote, it has to be counted. May I tell the please go to Mr. Reckmeyer. 35. 35. Mr. Piero. 48. 48. Mr. Quayle. 46. 46. All those opposed, please raise your right hand. Mr. Reckmeyer. 2. 2. 6. Mr. Carabas, 6. Mr. Quayle? 1. Count is 129 in favor, 9 opposed. The motion is carried. On the line item 23. Mrs. Sadek.
Mr. Moderator.
Line item 102.
Thank you. I move to appropriate the sum of $1,287,990 for the purpose of funding the debt service budget for FY93 as shown on line 102 with the accompanying transfers as specified in Article 10 as printed in the warrant.
You've heard the motion. Does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mrs. Holson?
Finance Committee recommends.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Daly.
Mr. Moderator, I move to appropriate the sum of $261,309 for line number 103 as printed in the sponsor recommends column as printed in the warrant with the accompanying transfers.
Daly, does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mrs. Holton?
Finance Committee recommends.
Heard the motion and the Finance Committee recommendation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Daly.
Mr. Moderator, I move to appropriate the sum of $460,900 for line 104 as printed in the sponsor recommends column as printed in the warrant with the accompanying transfers.
You've heard the motion. Does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mrs. Holson?
Finance Committee recommends.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Daly.
Mr. Moderator, I move to appropriate the sum of $195,544 for line number 105 as printed in the sponsor recommends column as printed in the warrant with the accompanying transfers.
You've heard the motion. Does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mrs. Holson?
Finance Committee recommends.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Daly.
Mr. Moderator, I move to appropriate the sum of $16,000 for line 106 as printed in the sponsor recommends column as printed in the warrant with the accompanying transfers.